Why is it that only in familiar spaces do you truly feel alive? Why, when the world is loud, busy, and constantly in motion, do you find yourself longing to return to a quiet corner of your room where your breath can finally slow down? Why don't you envy those who are always at parties, always travelling, always at the centre of the crowd? Why do you not need constant visibility or approval, yet feel grounded, whole, and even clearer when you are alone? And why, when others ask, don't you feel like you're missing out, or tell you should go out more? Do you briefly doubt yourself only to feel relief the moment the door closes behind you? You may have been subtly taught that this preference looks like avoidance, but what if the truth is the opposite? What if you are not escaping life at all, but participating in it in a way that is far more aligned with who you are? Perhaps you love being at home not because you lack energy for the world, but because you carry an inner world that deserves to be treated with care. From a psychological perspective, people who prefer quiet, familiar spaces are not lacking social ability. They simply have a nervous system that is more sensitive to stimulation. Your body does not rely on constant external input to feel alive. In fact, when noise, information, and emotional exchanges become too intense, your nervous system is often the first to feel overwhelmed. This is not a personality flaw, it is a physiological reality. Some people require novelty and change to feel energized. Others require stability to stay clear and regulated. When you are at home, when the pace slows, the environment becomes predictable, and the world stops demanding immediate responses, your nervous system finally gets permission to rest. You no longer need to scan the room, you no longer need to adjust yourself to match someone else's mood or keep up with a pace that drains you. You are simply allowed to exist. This is not withdrawal, it is self-regulation at a deep level. Many people feel chronically exhausted not because they are failing at life, but because they rarely spend time in environments that allow their body to truly relax. You choose home not because you fear the world, but because you understand that stability is where you become whole again. Research suggests that people who enjoy solitude and feel nourished by time at home often possess a highly active inner world. They do not depend on constant external events to stimulate feeling, fill emptiness, or prove meaning. Their thoughts, emotions, memories, and inner associations are already alive and moving. When external stimulation decreases, these internal processes finally have room to unfold. You may notice that when interruptions fade, your thinking becomes deeper, clearer, and more connected. A single image, a page of a book, or even silence itself can open a complete emotional experience. This is not emptiness, it is fullness. For you, meaning does not come from how much happens, but from how deeply something is experienced. A moment can hold significance, an emotion deserves attention. Home becomes the container where these experiences can breathe, expand, and settle. Not a place that disconnects you from life, but a space where you no longer have to constantly react to it. There, your inner world no longer competes for attention. It is finally allowed to exist as it is. In a culture that rewards visibility, performance, and constant engagement, quiet is often misunderstood. The world tends to celebrate those who are outward, expressive, and always participating. Those who step back and turn inward are often seen as absent. You may have heard things like, "You're too much of a homebody. You should get out more. Don't you get bored?" These comments may not be unkind, but they carry an assumption that if you are not in the center of activity, you must be missing something. But many of life's most meaningful developments do not emerge from constant stimulation. Deep thinking, creativity, and personal clarity often require quiet. Historically, many ideas that shaped the world were born not in crowds, but in long stretches of solitude, reflection, and patient attention. You are not disengaged from life. You simply refuse to let noise define existence. In a world that values outward expression, this choice itself requires courage. You appear different not because you lack something, but because you participate in life in a slower, deeper, and more intentional way. People who prefer being at home are often not emotionally distant, but emotionally deep. They notice subtle shifts in tone, mood, and relational dynamics. A gathering that feels casual to others may feel like sustained emotional input to you. You are reading expressions, sensing tension, adjusting yourself constantly to maintain harmony. You are not antisocial. You simply understand how precious emotional safety is. You do not open easily, not because you resist connection, but because when you do connect, you do so fully. You value depth over frequency, authenticity over noise. Home offers more than physical shelter. It offers psychological safety, a space where you are not required to stay alert, perform, or compress yourself. You return home not because you fear the world, but because you are protecting your ability to live fully without fragmentation. Psychology draws a clear distinction. Solitude and loneliness are not the same. Loneliness is a painful disconnection, wanting closeness with nowhere to go. Solitude is a choice, a willingness to be present with yourself. You can feel lonely in a crowd while performing an acceptable version of yourself, being seen but not touched. Solitude, by contrast, reconnects you inward. When you read, clean, listen to music, or watch a favourite film at home, you are not abandoning life, you are re-entering it through yourself. Many people struggle not with a lack of company, but with an inability to be alone with themselves. They rely on stimulation to avoid inner emptiness. Your capacity for solitude signals something else entirely. You can exist without an audience and still feel real. That ability becomes a quiet strength. It makes you less likely to cling to relationships for survival or sacrifice yourself to avoid abandonment. You know you can return to yourself and remain grounded there. You may have wondered whether something is wrong with you, why you don't enjoy constant social energy, why you don't crave noise. But what if nothing is broken? Often the urge to change comes from being measured against a narrow definition of normal. Psychology asks a different question: what drains you and what restores you? People who prefer home often possess strong self-awareness. You know when your energy declines, when you slip into performance mode, when your body begins to tighten. You return home not because you lack social skill, but because you understand how to manage limited emotional resources. This isn't selfish. It allows you to be more present in the relationships that truly matter. You invest in meaning, not stimulation, depth, not display. You don't need 100 voices applauding. You need one that understands. You don't need constant excitement. You need stable truth. Your task is not to become louder, but to stop treating your natural rhythm as a flaw. You can love quiet and still love life. You can choose solitude and still love deeply. Your way is different, but it is complete. So if you choose to stay home, not from fear, not from avoidance, but to protect your inner calm, please don't rush to doubt yourself. Your quiet is not emptiness, it is depth. Your silence is not absence, it is presence. You don't lack dreams. Yours simply grow inward. Until the world truly understands this, finish your warm cup of coffee slowly. Keep exploring your inner world. Protect your rhythm. Love quietly and sincerely, because those who love being at home are often the ones who make the world feel like home. This is happy psychology. May you understand yourself a little deeper and love yourself a little more.